Hi guys, it's Andrew here from Eastonmade today, and welcome back to the Eastonmade channel. I am out here in the wood yard and I'm gonna get right into it. I seen an awesome video the other day about the firewood business. If you're in the firewood business, you have to watch this video. If you're in the market for a firewood processor, big or small, regardless of what it is, you gotta absolutely watch this video. Because as firewood guys, as arborists, tree service guys, landscapers, whatever business you happen to be in, guys, that you're going to require a firewood processor of any scale, let alone a big one, you need to understand business. That's number one key thing here is understanding business, guys. So on that note, Adam Barba and Matt, the firewood guy, Matt's in Pennsylvania, wonderful guys. I've known Adam for years now. I've worked with him quite a bit through YouTube here. He has had just about every kind of Eastonmade wood splitter you'd ever want. He's done a lot of really tremendous, great things for me. Matt, the firewood guy, runs a legitimate firewood business. He has other businesses or other avenues of streams of income. He's a really savvy guy. The great thing about this video that these guys both did is that these guys are both accountants. These guys are professional CPA accountants. And why is that important? Well, guys, they talk a lot about, the whole video is about the cost to run a large firewood processor, how much wood you have to produce, what it costs to produce that wood, all that kind of stuff. And they hit the nail on the head with this thing. They really did. There's some figures that you can adjust one way or the other on it. They mentioned that in the video, where it is, where you can adjust, where you can gain, where you can lose. But ultimately, guys, it worked out that they figured out exactly. I'm not going to tell you what it costs for recording. I'm going to make you watch the video. But on that note, guys, if most of the time from a purely business perspective here, just business, you're typically going to want to increase. If it costs you something $100, you're probably going to want to charge between $160 and $200 for it. That's just good business. You're going to want to have a decent margin there so you can pay other expenses, so you can grow. The bottom line at the end of the day, when you do your profit and loss, when you do your balance sheet, when you do your income statement, you're going to see that. You want to try and keep somewhere, bottom line, net income, 10-15%. Some people are going to be fortunate enough to get up around that 20%, 25%. If you're in that range, congratulations. You're one of very few in business that I've ever spoke to or know of that are holding that high of a net income at the very bottom of it. It's and that's what it's all about, guys. Is you really have to know your numbers. Okay, I gotta stop right there because I missed the key point to that whole percentage thing. Now that 10 to 15, you're making good money there. If you're up around 20, 25, you're kicking ass. The reason those numbers are important, the net income at that particular spot is important, and why at that percentage that you want the net income to be at. Guys, you can take your money and throw it in the S&P 500, throw it in the stock market somewhere. You're gonna make 7 to 10% on it over the course of historically. Over the course of your lifetime. Warren Buffett has been a beautiful example of this in compounding and reinvesting interest. So that's it, guys. So you got to make sure you're at least above that, or else you can make more money sitting on your ass. That's the truth. Let's get back at the video. You have to be interested in your numbers, especially when you get into a firewood processor of that scale. If you're into a 48C, a 60C, a big processor, or wanting to get into that or wanting to grow to that, you have to understand that when you get to that point, you're not regardless of what it is, whether it's a tree service business, firewood, whether you're a logger, a HVAC guy, a plumber, a carpenter, whatever business that you're in, you have to remember that once you start to build your business, past a couple of guys, if you want to have that freedom that you can come and go as you please, that you can do more or less what you want, you have to realize you're no longer a tradesperson. You're not a firewood guy anymore. You're not a logger. You're not an arborist. You're not a plumber. You're not an HVAC guy. You're not a carpenter. You're none of those guys. What you are is you're a businessman. You're a business person. You're an entrepreneur at that point. When you start to grow, you need to remember that you need to set aside those other tendencies that you may have that are exactly those. Myself, I'm a mechanic. I'm a mechanic by trade. I'm a millwright. I'm a licensed auto mechanic, licensed millwright. When I first started doing this, I realized that wasn't the case once I started to grow. I'm no longer a mechanic. I'm no longer a millwright. I am a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. And I was fortunate enough, excuse me, that I had the father that I did and watched him grow his business. Because there was a point when I was a small child. My dad wasn't Brent Easton the businessman. My dad was Brent Easton the logger. My dad did everything. Absolutely. He pulled wrenches, he cut wood, he did absolutely everything. And it wasn't until he started to delegate and grow his business and put people in charge of things and have policies and procedures and different things in order to afford his freedom. My dad still worked his ass off until he retired. He worked a lot of hours, especially for a man as well established as he is and was. He still worked a lot of hours, and that's kind of afforded him, well, I guess I watched him grow into that, and he was still very conscious of things that were going on. Much like myself, I'm very in tune with what's going on in the building here, customer service end of it. I'm pretty well aware of it. But I think the big thing I've seen is being able to delegate more tasks to more people to be able to afford freedom and work on the business. So that is kind of a hard roundabout way. I guess the whole point of this video was to go and watch Adam's video, listen to him and Matt talk about the firewood business, the cost to actually produce a cord of wood, because it puts it into perspective for you guys where you've got to be, depending on what your costs are, what your labor costs are, how much waste you're going to have. They go into all of that, and they do an incredible job of it on this video, and it should give you some insight on where you've got to be. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, give her a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. That is my rant, my ramble for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps you out, guys. That's my goal here with this video, is to try and help somebody on the other side of that camera do better and do well and be content and be happy. That's the key to it all, guys. So anyways, hope to see you on the next one. Take care.